My birthday fell on a rainy Tuesday. Nothing special, nothing extravagant. But still, it was my day. The one day I thought I could hope for a little attention, a little love, maybe just a moment where I wasn't invisible. I had spent the night before baking cupcakes for my coworkers because I knew no one else would. I even bought candles myself, just in case. Call it foolish hope. I came home early from my shift at the cafe, hands sore from hours of serving others, feet aching, hoping maybe, just maybe, they had something planned. My apartment was quiet, which I expected, but the moment I walked into my parents' home that evening, my heart sank. There was Chloe, my younger sister, standing in the middle of the living room, surrounded by luggage, new clothes, a Paris travel guide in hand, and our parents cooing over her like she was the crowned queen of the family. My mom waved her hand like she had just remembered I existed. "Oh good, you're here," she said, just in time for the surprise. And then my dad handed me a box, a rectangle, roughly gift-sized. I felt the weight, and for a fleeting second, I let my heart swell. A necklace? A framed photo? Something sentimental? A vacuum cleaner. A dull, gray vacuum cleaner with the label still on it. PowerSuck 3000 in bold. You couldn't make it up. They actually laughed. "You've been saying your place is dusty," Mom said. "We thought this was perfect." "Paris is a bit much," Dad added with a shrug, gesturing toward Chloe's boarding pass. "But this is useful. We're trying to be fair." Fair? My throat burned. Chloe's gift wasn't just a trip. It was a fully sponsored birthday experience. Flights, first-class hotel, designer outfits, even a shopping stipend. They called it a once-in-a-lifetime birthday treat because, as they put it, she needed a break from all the stress of finding herself on social media. Meanwhile, I was the one working full-time, taking online university classes at night and helping Dad with his invoices on weekends. For free. I sat on the couch as Chloe posed beside her designer luggage while Mom filmed her TikTok-style Bon Voyage video. She didn't even look at me. "You can take a photo with the vacuum if you want," she joked. "I'll tag you." They all laughed. I didn't. I stayed quiet. Too quiet. After they finished their photos and started prepping for her birthday dinner at some fancy rooftop restaurant, which I wasn't invited to, I picked up the vacuum, forced a smile, and said, "Thank you." Not because I meant it, but because I wanted to watch them pretend everything was normal. I walked out, and when the door closed behind me, I felt something snap. Not in a loud, angry way. No, something quieter, colder, deeper. I sat alone in my apartment staring at that box. I didn't even unwrap it, just looked at it and thought, this is how little they see me. They gave her the world. They gave me chores. No cake, no card, no hug, not even a text from Chloe. And the worst part? They probably thought I was fine with it, because I've always been the calm one, the fixer, the reliable daughter who doesn't ask for much, the one who makes excuses for them when they forget, who smiles even when it hurts, who takes silence as second nature. But that night, I made a decision. This year, I would not explain myself. This year, I wouldn't argue, beg, or ask why she got Paris while I got a dust sucker. I would give them something they never expected. Silence, not out of weakness, but out of power. A silence so loud, they'd feel it echo in every celebration I wasn't part of, every photo I didn't like, every call I didn't return. This birthday wasn't the end of something. It was the start of a transformation, and they wouldn't realize what they lost until the next time they looked around, and I simply wasn't there. A month passed. Then, too, I didn't return their calls, didn't comment on Chloe's endless Paris photos, each one dripping with hashtags like birthday queen, gifted, and Paris vibes. Every time I opened my feed and saw her posing in front of the Eiffel Tower or sipping wine on a balcony I'd never be invited to, it didn't break me anymore. It built something sharper, clearer, stronger. I channeled everything into my work. Every shift at the cafe, every lecture I squeezed into sleepless nights, every quiet moment alone. I poured it all into one thing, my own life. No more waiting for validation from people who didn't see my worth. I decided I'd show them instead. I started saving. I picked up freelance writing gigs online. I studied business case studies in every spare second. I watched videos on marketing and entrepreneurship late into the night until my eyes blurred. And when I finally felt ready, I applied for a microloan. Not a huge one, but enough to turn the side hustle I'd been quietly building into a reality. By the time summer rolled around, I had launched my own small cleaning services agency, a poetic twist considering that vacuum cleaner. Only mine wasn't about cleaning homes. It was about restoring dignity to women who'd been overlooked, underpaid, and invisible for far too long. I hired 3 women from my neighborhood, single moms, immigrants, one formerly incarcerated. We named the business Clean Break. I made sure every client we served paid a premium, not for cleaning, but for ethical care. I branded it smart, stylish, empowering. I shared the story behind it in one honest Instagram post, just one. It went viral in 3 days. By fall, we were flooded with clients, corporate offices, art galleries, wealthy influencers who wanted the story behind their clean homes to sound as good as the shine on their marble floors. Press followed. A podcast invitation. A feature in a local women's entrepreneur magazine. That's when Chloe messaged me. "Hey sis," she wrote. "I saw your thing is like blowing up. OMG, congrats. We should totally collab or something. I could help with content?" I didn't respond. A week later, Mom called. I let it ring. Then Dad. I muted it. The more I ignored, the more curious they became. Then the guilt kicked in. I could feel it in their messages, the tone shifting from passive to apologetic. But I wasn't done yet. My silence was strategic. By the time winter came, Clean Break had moved into a loft office downtown. We were now a team of 12. My name was printed on the front door. Founder and CEO, Ava Monroe. So when Chloe's birthday came around again, the big 25, the one she had been hyping for a year, planning to top her Paris trip, I received a formal email. It was from a luxury event company. They were struggling, budget slashed, venue backed out, a disaster. And guess who owned the recently renovated warehouse space they desperately needed for a last-minute upscale birthday bash? Me. My new company had bought the property just 2 months earlier, a move to expand our brand into event cleaning and management. It was sitting vacant, pristine, and in demand. I knew it before I even opened the proposal. The universe wasn't just handing me a twist, it was practically serving it on a silver platter. The email was signed, "Best regards, Chloe Monroe Events Team." That's when the idea for my revenge crystallized into something quietly poetic. I approved the rental, but I set the terms. No knowledge of my ownership, no early access. Full payment up front, no refunds. Premium package only. Chloe's team agreed, of course they did. And on the day of her party, as her guests entered the glimmering space, chandeliers above, white roses down every table, gold accented everything, I stood behind the tinted glass of the mezzanine floor, watching it all unfold like a queen, observing the kingdom that once cast her out. She toasted with champagne in a dress that probably cost more than my first semester of college. She laughed, she posed, she bragged. And then her event coordinator handed her the final surprise envelope. "From the venue owner," they said, "a thank you for choosing our space." She opened it and froze. Inside wasn't a voucher, not a bottle, not even a card. It was a copy of the original invoice, signed, stamped, and sealed, and with my name on it. Clean Break Enterprises, Ava Monroe, founder. I watched as the blood drained from her face. She looked up. She looked for me. But I had already left. Because some paybacks don't need an audience. They just need silence, success, and the memory of a vacuum cleaner. The party ended, the venue emptied, and my name lingered in the air long after the last guest had stepped out in heels and hangovers. For a week, no one contacted me. Then suddenly, an unexpected knock. It was Mom, not a phone call, not a text, not even an email. She showed up, at my office. She looked smaller than I remembered. the confident woman who once scoffed at my birthday gift, who waved goodbye as Chloe boarded that Paris-bound flight, now stood at the entrance to my world, holding a crumpled envelope like it was some sort of peace offering. "I didn't know," she whispered. We didn't realize how far you'd come." I didn't invite her in. I didn't need to. She looked behind me, at the office buzzing with women I had hired, empowered, believed in when no one else did. Women who now carried their heads a little higher because someone told them they mattered. Someone who once received a vacuum cleaner as a birthday gift. "You always seemed so strong," she added, her voice cracking. "We thought Chloe needed more attention." I nodded, not out of agreement, but acknowledgement. And then she handed me the envelope. "Belated birthday card," she said with a forced smile. I took it, slowly, quietly. Inside was a photo. A faded one. Me and Chloe. We were maybe 10 and 13, sitting side by side at a birthday party that was mine, one of the few that actually was. I was smiling. She had cake on her nose. Our parents stood behind us, both smiling wide, as if nothing could ever go wrong. Behind the photo was a note scribbled in Dad's handwriting. "We're sorry. You deserved more." That was it. No money, no big gesture, just words. But the thing is, I didn't need their apology anymore. I had already healed in the silence. I had already grown in the shadows. I had already found a version of myself they never believed existed. As Mom walked away, slowly and awkwardly, I felt a calm settle over me, the kind of peace that doesn't come from revenge, but from rising, from knowing you were never the broken one, just the unseen one. A week later, I mailed something back to their house. No letter, no photo, just a vacuum cleaner, polished, boxed, and perfectly wrapped in gold ribbon. Inside was a single card. "Return to sender. I no longer clean up your messes." And that was the last thing I ever sent them. Because sometimes silence isn't empty. It's a message, signed in success, delivered in peace, and received by those who finally realize. They lost the only person who never asked for Paris, only to be seen,